Mabuhay! Welcome to Learning Tagalog with Kayla. My name is Kayla Galang, and I will be your teacher for this course. I'm excited to teach you Tagalog, the official language of the Philippines. Today, we're going to start with conversational phrases and common expressions. Let's get started.
Kayla,
Hi.
Megadeng Deng Hong Pong.
Oh my god. It's funny because I don't even understand fluent Tagalog just yet.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm working on that. So, how are you today? How are you this morning?
I'm good. I just came back from a walk, so I'm a little bit like sweaty and smelly, but very energized. So I don't know, pretty good.
It's a good combination.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in Las Vegas. Where are you at today?
I'm in Austin. Yeah.
Oh, you in Austin?
So I'm basically at South by without really being at South by. It's a very interesting time.
Well, that's very cool. That's why you're a little weird, I guess. You're in Austin, huh?
I suppose so, yeah.
Well, thank you for talking to me today about your learning Tagalog. You know, my family married into a Filipino family about 40 years ago, so I got so many relatives and so many, and also another part of my family, we're also married into a Hawaiian family. So we got Pacific Islanders everywhere, so when it comes to the, the culture and the language and the food,
so you're eating well, huh?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of picky, I even said in here, I was like, I do not want balut. I was going to say that to you. But...
Oh, me neither. I don't ever want it. I feel bad because my dad's always just like, try new things. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Oh, I'm the worst, pickiest guy in the world. Yeah. The only thing I eat from them is the sticky rice. That's what I like.
Ooh, there's some good stuff. Yeah.
So tell me about what you're doing at South by Southwest and tell me about your program or your language program.
So yeah, South by so far has been pretty fun. I've just been soaking up movies. I feel like I'm pretty movied out right now, so I'm kind of like trying to take it slow. But yeah, learning Tagalog with Kyla it started off as like a little project for a community art showcase. So I intended to lean into this like public broadcast or like access, like feel, and decided to run with it because I was really bored and sad in the middle of the pandemic, and here we are now.
And among languages, what difficulty is Tagalog?
I've heard that it's easy to learn, but I feel like my experience of trying to learn it has been kind of like filtered through, like family members and people giving me a hard time for not knowing it so eloquently. So I'd say it's supposed to be easy, but.
Well, what's the key to learning the language when you started learning it? What do you think the key is? Practicing, maybe?
I think, yeah, probably practicing. Yeah. Probably the thing is, like, I feel like I know some lines from the film by heart now just from having, listened to them quite a bit in editing. But yeah, I'd say practicing. I've tried to practice quite a bit, but.
Well, I think Americans, when you hear about Europeans, they can learn 7 languages. And if you don't practice a language, it just doesn't work. So being in Las Vegas, when it came time for me to learn a language, I went with Spanish because it's, it's everywhere and you can practice it. Even though I love to learn French, I took a year of Russian, in college, which was a nightmare, right? But I had no one to practice with unless cab drivers in LA, right? So I think that's important when you're learning a language, that it's something that it's got to be alive. It's got to be living.
Yeah.
And especially if you're with your family, if you don't, I think I meet so many people who don't. Like one of my roommates is Navajo, right? And he learned Spanish because his father was Spanish, but he never learned the language, even though his family speaks it. I said, oh, you're missing an incredible opportunity right there.
It's tough too, because like when it comes to like, I'm a second generation immigrant, so I feel like my parents didn't necessarily like feel the need to teach me because, we're in America, when I've like always had this like desire to at least like understand them and be able to speak with them on that level. So there's like another interesting thing to consider there.
Have you traveled to the Philippines yet, or?
Twice now. I was born there, but I moved away at 6 months old, so I
don't
remember
much.
But I first visited, I'd say, was it 2017, and then again in 2019.
So your whole family's in Austin, or?
A lot of my family's actually in Houston, about 2 hours away.
Okay.
So I get to see them and eat their food pretty much anytime. It hasn't been so easy with the pandemic, but they're around. Yeah.
Well, when it comes to food, I understand you kind of mix your love of baking with teaching.
Sometimes I feel like baking was probably like the biggest hobby that I picked up in the pandemic, just because I felt like being creative in other ways. So it felt pretty fulfilling that way.
And tell me about coming to South by Southwest. I mean, getting into the program and all of that. So how exciting is that for you?
It's super exciting because I was really bummed when it got canceled last year. I feel like that was a big sobering moment for a lot of us in Austin, especially my friends in the creative industry. So I was really sad to see it go last year. But when they opened up, film submissions again this past year, I actually submitted day one because a friend just told me to go for it. I didn't have any plans to
Right.
submit Learn Tagalog to anything until a friend was just like, you should just try it out.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of confused. So is it something to teach a language? Is it kind of a mini comedy? Is it like what is your as a filmmaker, what is the reason behind this?
I'd say it's more of a comedy. It's interesting because like I initially had this more experimental piece in mind to like actually learn Tagalog on camera, because it was going to be like in a more private like showcase setting for like my community and my friends. But then I decided that was like too boring and not very interesting to watch me learn a language. So I just decided at the very last minute to kind of like meld this like formal teacher and a stumbly student into one character and kind of go with that. And I just wanted to be present with the things I found joyful and sad and funny in my surroundings. So I think it's a weird little comedy baby.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I love Austin. I love that city. It's been probably 7, 8 years since I've been there. So I'm dying to come back. And
Yeah.
you got to come visit us in Las Vegas.
Yeah. It's been a minute since I've been to Vegas. So I'm super stoked to travel once that feels safe again.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we'll hang out when you get here. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations. Good luck at the festival. And thanks for talking to me. And we'll talk again soon.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jeffrey.